Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. What is this? Can I show a knife on here? Anyway,
Is it
what's
working?
going on, all you Facebook and YouTube fishing freaks? We're going to be talking fishing today, and it's more geared towards what I don't know. Maybe you show this to your wife or your girlfriend, and maybe give them an idea of what to buy you for Christmas. We're going to talk about this for about a half hour, talking about some lower end baits and things that you might want to pick up, or you might be able to buy them or whatever. Or maybe you should pick them up for somebody else. We're going to talk about just a small gift guide here, and I'm going to show you. I'm just going to talk about some of the baits that I enjoy fishing. JR's going to do the same thing, and we should have a pretty decent show. We're going to be on here for about a half hour. But with that being said, you guys know the routine. We're going to hop on this little short intro, and right after that, we're going to get after it. What's up, Larry Slack? See you guys in just a second.
Gotta get your arms way up in a cat and set the hook on smallmouth bass, and then you'll understand. Gotta get your hands on a Shimano reel and a G-Loomis round. I bet you like what you feel. Step on the deck, give it a whirl. Hello and welcome to my world.
What's going on, guys? I am in the process of sharing the video feed out, and if you guys would do so as well, I would appreciate it. Right now, I am going to be looking at my YouTube channel in just a second, but I am searching for that 5,000 subscriber mark. I am not quickly, but I'm more quickly than I was approaching that. So I cannot complain about that. So how's things going on that side of the river, JR?
It's good over here, man. It's a little bit cooler. You know, the air is a little bit lighter, more oxygen. You know, it's good.
I don't believe that. Cooler, I definitely will say that. 23 degrees Fahrenheit today, right now. It was 14 degrees when I woke up this morning.
No way.
It was crazy. Didn't get over 30 degrees today, I don't think. The wind chill was absolutely frigid. It is the second day of Ohio deer gun season, and
They're moving.
good golly, Miss Molly, I do not miss hunting a bit. I do miss hunting with my dad, and that was the whole reason I did hunt, to be honest with you, later in my dad's life. But I used to have the hunting bug bad. Like, I used to hunt more than I fished, and that's really hard to think about. But the reason that I make YouTube videos right now about fishing is the fact that we created an outdoor video production company way back in the day. It was called Downwind Productions, and there was about 20 of us that used to film hunts. And man, you think trying to film a video about fishing and catching fish is hard? You ought to try packing 200 plus pound human being males into a mile into the woods with a bunch of camera gear and stuff and try to kill a trophy buck. That is absolutely terrible. But anyway, back to the task at hand. Again, we're going to talk about just some quick things that I have used this year that I believe are good baits and things that you should look at. I'm going to go from very, very simplistic stuff that's kind of cheap and things, and we'll kind of work our way up to higher end rods and reels and things, and even we'll talk about maybe some gear and things. With that being said, I just recently picked up and this is a great gift guide item right here for those of you guys that are looking for something to put on your list. I just recently picked up a AFCO Reaper hoodie through being a pro staff member for Picasso Lures. I've had my eyes on the AFCO stuff for a while, and as you guys know, we're affiliated with Columbia here on this channel, and I love Columbia's gear, man. I use their stuff all the time. Matter of fact, if you watch the video that I posted this morning about my 4 crankbait rods, you'll see that I was wearing a Columbia. It was actually called, I think it's called the Sweater Weather sweater, and it's actually really cool and something really warm that I like. But I recently purchased an AFCO hoodie, AFCO branded hoodie, but it's an AFCO Reaper hoodie, but it was Picasso branded. They just had their logo screen printed on it. But I will tell you, that is something that I will buy more of, whether or not it's Picasso Lures branded or whatever. But the AFCO Reaper hoodie is something that you should definitely put on your gift list this year, or something that somebody can get for you. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. They're fairly expensive. They're like $90 for a hoodie. And when you look at that thing, you're like, man, $100 for a hoodie, really? But I'm telling you what, I've wore it for the last 2-3 trips out. And the difference is that it makes is that the hoodie is really no different, other than when you like the pockets that your hand go in on a normal hoodie. It has some like rubber. I call it Velcro, but it's really not Velcro. It actually like snaps together like rubber. It's not like you know how it is. If it's really cold and you have like Velcro on your gloves and you wipe your nose, it feels like you've like hit your nose with like 60 grit. It's not real fun.
But it's like a hoodie and a scarf all in one, man.
Yeah, so I'll see if I can find a picture of it in just a second. So
they make them in all different types. So they've got like windproof, waterproof, jacket ones. I've always wanted one. I've just been too cheap to buy one.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, I was that way, and like I think I have the technical one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I do. I have this. Actually, matter of fact, let me share it with you guys here really quick. What's going on, guys? Sorry, I'm not digging through the comments here. I'm seeing Mark Hickey. What's going on, brother? One of the things that I will tell you, we haven't really talked about it on here as much as we should, but if you guys are looking for quality apparel that's sun related, you definitely should go check out Apex Apparel, which I have a lot of their stuff. I have a bunch of their yeah, I'll take that. Misty's helping us out here with the Picasso Reaper hoodie. Sorry. But obviously the hoodie is no different than any other hoodie. It does have some stuff here under the basically where your arm. It's kind of it's not mesh, but it has some vents there to allow wind in. But one of the things that I want to show you about this hoodie, that as far as I know they have the market wrapped up on, is this what I'll call a gator or a buff, and this is physically sewn into the shirt. But I'm telling you what, man, this thing right here, especially in the really cold weather that we're dealing with right now, has been a game changer for me. And just to show you an actual version of it on their website, I'll bring this up really quickly. But it does a really good job of keeping my face warm, and if I get too hot, I can always pull that thing down. But one of the cool things I really like about it is the fact that I can breathe through this, which is normally a no-no for me when it comes to buffs and things. I find myself all the time trying to get like sun protection and things that I can wear all the time, and then I find myself taking it off because I can't breathe in it. This is actually, has holes in it so you can breathe through it, doesn't fog your glasses up. But if you get too hot, you can just pull this thing down like a neck gaiter and it stays there for you all day. I really like it. And again, in the pockets, I don't think it does show. You can see here the mesh that's in the armpit area. A lot of different colors. I actually have, you guys actually saw it, but this deep green that's here, again, it is branded with Picasso Lures because I bought it through Picasso being a part of the pro staff, but that is not a Picasso product. It's made by AFCO. You can check it out, AFCO.com. Again, no affiliation, but you can see $80 for this Reaper hoodie. I'm telling you, seems like a lot of money, but probably is worth every daggone penny. And I'm not saying that because this is just something that I've seen in the last couple of days. I've actually physically been wearing it for the last 3 times I've been out, and it's been sub 40 degrees, and it's actually kept me super warm.
All AFCO stuff's really nice, man. I've got a lot of their sun shirts, and they have the buff built into their sun shirts too. And to not get wind burnt is pretty stinking nice too, especially going up and down the lake, and then on top of that, just for the sun protection.
Yeah,
I don't need melanoma.
Yeah, no, me either. That's the deal, man, guys. When I fish, I'm out there on the water. Misty makes fun of me all the time. The fact that I look like a vampire out there. Like I try my best to stay out of the sun. I mean, you could tell these sunspots and stuff I have under my eyes. Like this is literally from being out in the sun 100+ days a year. Like that's just the way it is. And I didn't take care of my skin initially in the first probably half or maybe even 3/4 of my fishing career. if you call it a career, my fishing time. Something I'm being more and more, I guess, cautious and conscious about. But I'm telling you, just a quick thing. If you're looking for something that, if somebody spends $100 on you, I would recommend the AFCO Reaper. That is it's not like my lowest end stuff. I'll talk about some baits, but as far as if you're looking for something to keep you warm, that is an absolute game changer. The AFCO Reaper is it for me. What do you got, JR?
So, not affiliated, obviously. Something that I've seen online, and as far as rods go, I love all my Shimano and G Loomis stuff. Often I find for, reaction baits, I don't want to really spend, $500 for a rod. So I noticed that a lot of websites have the Temple Fork Outfitters rods on sale right now. They're $150 instead of $200, which is really nice. So I would highly recommend them. I use their spinnerbait rod. I use their crankbait rods. I use their topwater rods, and for $150, you can't beat it. Really nice rod, and it's actually designed by the man himself, G Loomis. They're Bass Elite, so you're getting a G Loomis designed rod for $150. I mean, honestly, like their jig and worm rod is really nice too, especially if you don't want to spend a bunch of money. But I think they're $150 on all the major platforms right now.
So I see Mark Hickey here in the comments saying arc rods are legit. So let me tell you a funny story about arc rods. And this has nothing to do with their company. So first off, when I very first started this live stuff, myself and my cousin Josh Bryant, who was the original co-host, we were given an arc rod that was like a 7'5" heavy, like a frog rod or something. So obviously I've been affiliated with Shimano and G Loomis from day one of this channel. Matter of fact, like we started the live stuff basically dealing with that Shimano and G Loomis affiliation. So we were given an arc rod. So I knew that I was never going to fish it, obviously, because I fished G Loomis and Shimano. So what I did was I created a giveaway for that rod for our live show. Dude, I just about got canceled because of it. Like, it was nuts. Like, I had people calling my Shimano rep, Drew Sadler, and telling him that I was freaking like promoting arc rods. And like, I was like, dude, it was so crazy that I had people that were sponsors of mine that had no clue what I was even doing, that they were like messaging me and like, dude, what is the deal with this? Like, you are like in the hot seat, like our show, that was the most viral that our show went, just because I was trying to give away an arc rod that was free that I was never going to use. And I even said on the post, like, look, guys, I'm never going to use this rod. It was given to us by another Shimano user that never was going to use it. So I wanted to give it to somebody who may use it and give it some time on the water. And dude, it was nuts. Like, I had like hour-long conversations about it with people that were real up in it was crazy. Like, I'm not saying arc is not legit. I just know one thing, that it was like, I had people up in arms because I was trying to give a free one away.
Cancel culture, bro.
What up, Dex? Old Dex in the house. What's going on, man? I put it up there and Jared took it down, or Jared put it up there and I took it down. Anyway,
I just like Dexter. He's a good dude.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, long story short, let's talk about something. I see that Mark Hickey said best wintertime tactics. I would say dynamite would be a great one. No, so I am just now getting into the world of live scope. I don't have live scope. I have been lucky enough to deal with both the LSV 32 Garmin. JR has that, which, by the way, if you ever accidentally cut your live scope cable, you can solder that back together and it'll work. Ask me how I know. But so
some nerds.
Yeah. LS32 or LSV32, which is the first series of the live scope transducer, and I've also got to fish with the LSV34, and now recently Kyle's just bought a new to him boat. He got a 2023 Nitro Z21 XL, and it has Lowrance stuff on it. It has active target. The only thing I haven't had the opportunity to actually be on a boat and fish is going to be the Mega Live stuff. But I will tell you from my research, I was going to buy Mega Live, and I knew Mega Live was going to be the least, like it's the less, or it's the greatest of all evils there, in my opinion. I feel like it's so far behind that it shouldn't be in the same race even, but you can't have it all. So they have, in my opinion, Humminbird has the best side and down imaging as well as 360. I feel like that they're way, way, way behind in the forward facing sonar game. But after fishing 4 different times, Kyle and I went crappie fishing twice / bass fishing once. We fished 4 days for a tournament using active target. It is a decent deal, and he doesn't have the second gen. It's just the standard active target stuff. But my goal is to get, as Mark and I were just talking about via text message earlier, my goal is for the springtime to try to save my pennies or have a viral YouTube video and buy a Garmin 12 with an LSV34 setup.
That's the time, man. I mean, those looking on Bass Pro right now, talking to some of the guys that work in shops, is cheaper on Bass Pro than they can get it right now from the dealer for the 12-inch model. So you can get a 12-inch screen for $1,500. I think normally it's around $2,600. So now's the time to get the screen at least.
Yeah, so that's my goal. But the wintertime techniques, the reason I kind of went off on that tangent about wintertime is like I find myself now, and I know if I had live scope, it would change the way I fish because it's changed the way I've fished in the last 4 times that I've been out with Kyle. Is, normally I'm a bank fisherman, I'm a power fisherman. I grab a crankbait and a spinner bait, and then when they're not biting that, then I'll grab a jig or something and I'll be still dragging around the banks. But we're fishing down at Del Hollow. We were catching fish, and what I mean catching fish, we weren't just like, it wasn't just one. We caught multiple fish at 70 plus feet of water, which is something that I would have never done. Never in my life. I would have never been out in the middle of the water, middle of the lake, 70 foot of water casting for bass. Just wouldn't do it. Live scope has changed it. I think that if I was right now and I had live scope, a wintertime technique would be just throwing a Demiki rig. People down at Del Hollow are throwing Demiki rigs that are 3/4 ounce to an ounce, I'm hearing, to get down there to those fish, which is crazy. We were throwing 3/8 ounce. I tell you what, if you want to get frustrated, go down to Del Hollow and throw a 3/8 ounce head and at fish at 70 foot. You're like, whoop, and you're like, it's like 3.5 minutes later, it finally gets down there to the fish, and you find out it's really not even a bass. So, in my opinion,
Rapala made some nice jigs for that. Actually, a lot of them are used for ice fishing, but they've got some, from as light as you want to as heavy as you want, that are actually pretty nice for that.
Who was that now?
Rapala.
Yeah. So Jensen there, looking at new spinning combo, what would you recommend? Utility combo. Well, Jensen, I am going to be the first to tell you, buy what you can afford and buy what makes you happy. But I will tell you, in spinning rods, I do believe the money that you spend, you get out of in longevity as well as sensitivity and stuff. And don't get scared off here. I'm going to start at the very upper end of things. If I were looking at a spinning rod to tell anybody that could buy and do whatever they wanted with it, would be a Shimano NRX Plus 852S. It's so good of a rod that I own 3 of them. They're just that good. I do everything from drop shotting to Ned rigging to small jigs like a Picasso little spotty. I throw that on there. You could do so much with that. You're talking about a $650 rod. I get it. A reel, so let's just look at reels, man. And again, depending on what you want to spend, a good mid-range, and obviously I'm telling you straight Shimano stuff because that's where I'm affiliated with, but don't overlook the Shimano Vanford. The Vanford is bomb.com reel. It's amazing. It's a little expensive. The Noski is actually pretty good. They actually have the new Stratic that came out, the FL, and they also have, and the name is slipping me right now. They have a new reel that just came out that is lower than the Vanford. Let me find out what that is really quick. The name is slipping me. But if I were going to put the ultimate reel together and I had unlimited funds, I would look at the G Loomis NRX Plus 852S JWR. That would be the rod, and the reel. And again, this is unlimited funds here, so I don't know what. Don't go out and Google this stuff because it's probably gonna blow your mind. And I'm not trying to do that.
Markiki, Stella.
No, I'm one of the guys that are anti Stella. I think they're great for what they are based on, like saltwater fishing and all that stuff. But I don't think you're gonna get the benefit that you would out of my favorite reel, which my favorite reel.
Mirabelle?
Yeah, Mirabelle is what I'm talking about. It's a really good reel that come out. So it's kind of it's like a predecessor to the Vanford. Has a lot of the same technology in it, but you're looking at a much lower price point. Whereas the Vanford, I'm sure the tackle box is sold out of them, but if they weren't, that would be the time to get it right now.
There's honestly, all of the Shimano reels are excellent. I mean, that's one thing. I think you've got some leeway with some rods, but man, for reels, I've had a Noski, really nice reel. Those are $100. I've got a Mirabelle. Those are $129. Really nice reel. The next step up would be an Ultegra, which I really like the Ultegra as well. That's like 160, as I recall. And then the next step up would be your Stratic, and then followed by the Vanford. I love the Vanford. I think the drag is just silky smooth. I mean, if you're going to spend good money on a really good reel, it's hard to go wrong with the Vanford.
Yeah, I agree with that. And if I'm putting my ultimate rod together, and again, this is no questions asked, no money barred. No, I'm still fishing the. I would still say the NRX Plus 852S. And if you want a little more length, you can go the 872S, which is going to give you a couple more inches. Still the same power. But if I'm throwing a reel on something that I absolutely I know that I enjoy because I own it, is Shimano X-Sense. I call it the Batmo reel. But again, that's an extremely expensive reel, guys. That we're talking about for that combo, you're looking at almost $1,300. Which is obviously that's not in my wheelhouse. So I wasn't affiliated with Shimano. I would never be able to afford that. But so the Poison Adrena or I think you said the Poison Ultima. Don't look at the Poison Ultima because it'll scare you to death. Poison Adrena, they have some decent rods in that lineup. You're looking at about 280 to 315. If you want something even lighter than that, the Corrado is a really good rod series. You're probably looking at about $100-$120 on that one. Definitely look at something in the 7 foot to 7.2 medium to, I would go 7 to 7.2 medium on a rod, whatever you can afford, and a reel. Just a quick note for bass fishing and things, especially on the Shimano line of things, I always encourage people to go at the 3000 series of spinning reels due to two things. One, the 2500 and the 3000 series frames on basically all Shimano spinning reels are the exact same. The reel foot's the same. All the gears and stuff are basically the same within there. You're just getting a deeper cut spool on the 3000, which holds a little bit more line. And the next thing is that you get a T handle on that 3000. And sometimes, very rarely, and the only time I've ever seen it come into play the other day was when I was fishing in 70 foot of water at Del Hollow. And I was, the 3000 has the higher, little bit of a gear ratio. It's a little higher than the 2500.
And the drag is a little bit more sophisticated too, right?
On some models, yes, you get cross carbon drag on some, where others are just like a carbon wafer. So that's definitely there. But so again, man, I don't know what your budget is. I love the Shimano Stella. I feel like that it's for what you're going to be doing for bass fishing. It's an overkill. If I was going to mention an awesome rod, I would look at. Let's see what else. So you could look at the IMX Pro series if you wanted in the Loomis stuff, which has a lifetime warranty on it.
X-Pride, man. I think X-Pride is one I wouldn't sleep on, man. I've probably got 3 X-Prides. One I bought a BFS setup with I think it's a 7.2 X-Pride. I've got a Frog Rod X-Pride, and then I've got
a dropped phone.
A dropped computer.
The whole computer.
I've got one other X-Pride. Can't remember what the third one is, but they're really nice. They're super lightweight, which is what I really like about them. And I think it's a little bit more reasonably priced. You're looking at $280 as opposed to your $400 and $500 rods.
Yep, I agree, John. 3,000 all the way for me. I like the T-handle, and one thing you're going to get, man, is that there's 2 different camps. There's a camp of people that love T-handles like myself, and there's people that absolutely hate those jokers. Yeah, and I still, I don't really understand it, but we'll call it a day on that. So, yeah, so I hope that helps you out. I know that's a lot of kind of beating around the bush, Jensen, but best thing I can tell you is you're not going to go wrong with any Shimano or G-Loomis stuff. The higher money that you can spend, definitely do so, because you're going to get the benefit of spending that extra money. But again, if I was going to, if you want a all-terrain, utility rod, look at that NRX Plus 852S. X-Pride, like you was talking about. I hate the Poison Adrena doesn't have very many actions. I think they have like a 7-foot medium, which sounds amazing. You're like, man, I tell you what, 7-foot medium in a spinning rod is exactly what I want. The Poison Adrena size actions of rods, I will be able to tell you, because I own just about all of them, they actually fish a little softer than the action that's printed on there. For example, I feel like a medium, especially on that spinning side, is more of a light or even an extra light. It's crazy. So don't get fooled by that. But again, just find out what kind of money you can spend. And don't hold back. Spend as much money as you can on a spinning rod. You're not going to regret
it. Be a man and get you a Stella. This guy.
Hey, Mark, send me your credit card information, bud. I'll buy 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, I love Stellas, but if I'm going to spend $700 on a reel, I'm buying an Xsense, because it's carbon. You have the carbon frame. It's not made out of metal. It's like a third of the weight of a Stella, and I'm not fishing saltwater. That's just my 2 cents. So back to the Christmas gifts at hand, and I'm going to go very small here and very cheap, so you can go out and buy yourself some or have somebody buy you some, and that's going to be one of my favorite crankbaits that you guys have heard me talking about a million times this year, and I hate the fact that I'm giving you this, because 1, they're hard to find. 2, now that the tackle box is going out of business, I'm going to have Brad at Borders order them for me, which is no big deal, but the Spro Little John Type R 50 series. Now, I want you to understand that there is a major difference between the Spro Little John 50 and the Spro Little John Type R 50. The Type R stands for rattling. It has a rattle in it. When I say this thing rattles, man, it rattles louder than a lipless crankbait. It freaking gets with it. Has a microchip bill. I've never had one that was out of the package that needed tuned. They come out of the package. They run great. They are absolutely fish catching machines. The Type R makes an already fish catching machine in the 50. Like, it gives it a shot of steroids, like in both butt cheeks, man. I'm talking about, like, I've caught more bass on that crankbait. And if I can give you one collar, and again, I hate to say this, but Rayburn Red, buy a Rayburn Red Spro Little John Type R 50, which is the rattling with the microchip bill. It dives like 4 to 7 foot. I'm telling you what, pick that thing up and throw the daggone thing. You're going to catch fish on it. It is that good. So if you're looking for a bait, something that somebody can buy you, they're not cheap. They're $14 a piece, but they're worth every penny.
Tungsten rattles and Gamakatsu hooks, which is like everything with Spro now. I guess they're in cahoots, so to speak. But, I always tell everybody that my grandpa always fished Gamakatsu, so I always fish Gamakatsu when I can.
Yeah. that's the deal. Like I like Gamagatu. So that's so my favorite. My two lists as far as Christmas presents so far is an AFCO Reaper hoodie, Spro Little John Type R50, and then what's your second one, Joe?
So I got to go with, and this is a little jab at whoever was trying to tell me this a couple weeks ago on the show. I'm going to go with the brand new Z-Man Chatterbait Elite Evo in the color Spot Remover. I caught a little shy of 5 pounds and then a little over 3 pound bass. I guess that was 2 weeks ago when me and Tyler went, and then this past weekend when me and my buddy Colt went, and you know, we went to a pond and we're catching some nice fish there. So don't sleep on the chatterbaits. The Evo is really nice. It's not as expensive as a jackhammer, and honestly, the thing that I look for with a chatterbait is I want to see the blade vibrating as soon as it hits the water. And the Evo is a cheaper version of the jackhammer that's designed partially by Stephen Browning. I think he's probably the best chatterbait fisherman, and it starts vibrating as soon as you hit the water. So I'm a fan.
Yeah, so that's something that I could get better with as far as building confidence with a chatterbait. I do have the 860. What is it? The 863 chatterbait rod, IMX Pro. I'm thinking. I'm sorry, I'm kind of distracted here. I'm looking at Corey's comment on here, which reminds me, guys, I need to talk to you guys really something that's kind of out and about, and you guys may know already, but I want to talk to you about something that you need to get on if you're not already. But you said the saltwater deal, like I didn't even know they made one. Is that like the LSV 63 or whatever that is? Well, I guess it's Live Scope XR extended range. Maybe that's it. Holy crap! Yeah, the LSV 62. Holy, it's $1,600 more expensive. But being able to see it fish at 300 feet, that's crazy. Anyway, speaking of which, we are at a crossroads. The crossroads is that I myself have been fishing JB's Fish Sauce for better part of 8 years. I actually learned about the stuff through a buddy of mine that is no longer in the fishing industry. Back when a fellow named Jim Block owned the company. That's where JB's Fish Sauce the name comes from. But recently, Corey, they bought this thing a couple years ago, and I've tried to keep it running since COVID, and COVID's taken it out on everything in the fishing industry. And if you haven't had the opportunity to watch Ben Milliken's video about COVID and all this money that's going through the world right now and why the fishing industry is the way it is, you should watch it. It's definitely an eye-opening experience, and I think he has a lot of experience to talk on. But with that being said, JB's Fish Sauce is unfortunately closing their doors very soon. They're having a 25% off, basically house clearing of everything that they have available right now. I can't speak to that. I'm sure everything is probably on their website that they have available. So if you, like myself, enjoy using JB's Fish Sauce, now's the time to get it, because in the future you're probably not going to be able to get it any longer. And that's garlic, that's pinch of garlic, that's crawfish, bait fish, you name it, the stuff that we've come to rely on. Now's the time to buy it, guys, because again, it's not going to be around. Is it going to be gone forever? Who knows? But right now they're closing the doors. So if you guys are interested in getting your hands on some JB's Fish Sauce, go over to their website or over to their Facebook page. Corey, if you want to comment that code down below, it's 25% off everything they have in stock. It's like it's a store closing event. So they're trying to get rid of all that stuff. So I would advise you to go out there and take a look at that. Another great opportunity for some Christmas presents. Keep this stuff indoors, guys. Buy it up bulk. And if you keep it indoors when it's cool and, climate controlled, the stuff will keep for years. So it's not something that you're going to have to like worry about. I've used stuff that's been in my boat a couple years and it works fine. Now it does have real fish oils in it, and they're going to solidify over a time because that's what fats and oils do. So to keep that in mind as well. But again, 25% off right now for everything they have in stock, and it could be the last time to ever get it. So that pinch of garlic, man, I'm telling you, fire. I'm going to be ordering some myself. With that being said, we've had the jackhammer talk. Now, I am going to throw you guys on a pair of pliers that I've used for years. And to be honest with you, I was given them as a Christmas present by my buddy Kyle. And these are what you're seeing on the screen right now. I just pulled up Walmart, random, obviously shop local, find somebody that can get them for you. Before you go to these big box stores. But this is a Strike King KVD series precision split ring pliers. They've changed the handle on them over the last couple years, but they're literally the exact same pliers. They are split ring pliers, as well as these blades right here are serrated, and they cut the fire out of braid, man. I'm talking about like cutting it like a hot knife through butter. $8. These things are really small. I don't know that they have a picture to show you how big it is, but they're worth every penny for $8. Has a little locking mechanism here to lock the things down. But I'm telling you, if you want something that's $8 that you can get an angler that they'll love, KVD split ring pliers are it.
That's a good one. I need to get that for myself.
Thoughts on this call shed. So yes, I did have one tied on. I was throwing it on a 906C CBR crankbait rod, which is a 7'6" crankbait rod. Not the best rod for that. It's way under power for that, but I love the action of the call shed. I have to change some tackle that I have. One, I got to buy a rod that I can throw those baits on. I need to. And as I was talking about on the last episode live before Thanksgiving, I am in the process of making my own glide baits. And I'm going to be working on creating a group of like product testers. I'm going to send some of these baits out. And I'm not looking to get rich here, but I would like to create my own glide bait line just for something that would have fun and to watch people catch fish on them. But above that, with the call shad, is one thing that I was not aware of when I bought them is the fact that you need to add weights to them to get them to run differently in water columns. If you want to throw this thing in really deep water, their advice is to use nail weights in certain locations in the bait. I don't own a single nail weight. I don't throw any Nico rigs or anything like that. If I'm throwing something that finessey, it's going to be something like a wacky rig or something where I'm using a weighted hook. But if you're going to buy the call shad, make sure you buy some nail weights to go along with it. That way you can actually kind of hone in on where you want this thing to run. But other than
action is incredible, man.
Yeah, the action is amazing. Like the tail of the thing, it does what it says it's supposed to. I like the hook keeper that it has on there. I have nothing bad to say about them. I haven't caught any fish on them yet, but I haven't thrown them a lot either. I feel like they're going to be a really good spring bait. But I like them, but make sure you pick up some nail weights when you pick some up, because if not, you're not going to be happy with the way they run. All right, JR, we're at 40 minutes. I need one more Christmas gift. Let's go medium range here, like maybe something cheap we're talking about, and then we'll go high end to end tonight's show.
Okay, so the coal shad's a good one. Going back to your line cutters and things like that, I think the boomerang line tool is hard to beat. It's a little line snip, $10, and you can put it on your belt loop, easy to get. That's a $10 easy one to get. I think I've always got mine from Amazon. And then also at Borders, actually, I know Brad keeps a ton of those. One thing that I've been paying attention to a lot is the new Goby style bait from Z-Man. it's TRD gobies. I honestly cannot wait to throw that up north anywhere with a goby. There's also a new one called Gobius, which, you know, any new bait I'm kind of a sucker for to begin with, just because I'm a tackle junkie. And then this new Gobius bait, I mean, it looks more like a goby than any other imitator I've ever seen. So I think it's going to do really well in any of the, you know, northern places you go fishing, like Erie, or, you know, obviously St. Clair, where me and Tyler like to go the most. So I think it's a no-brainer to put that on your Christmas list.
Yeah, so I'm with you. JR shared it with me the other day. He picked some of them up. I was really impressed with the way it looks. I did see that they're actually, I don't know if it's a smaller version of the one you have, but they're actually like showing that on a drop shot rig. Which, so JR has a buddy that is a guide, and he made a comment to JR while he was on the phone, and I was kind of like overhearing it via guilt by association because he had him on speakerphone. Was talking about catching fish at Lake St. Clair, and he said something that I'd never really thought about. And he said, we were talking about goby style baits and goby collared baits, and he said, just remember, a goby can't leave the bottom. And I was like, well, what does he mean by that? Then it hit me. I was like, well, they're not going to leave the bottom, because they leave the bottom, they're going to get freaking ate. So they're going to associate to the bottom where their camouflage is going to be. So using that goby bait that's a foot and a half off the bottom may not be the greatest thing in the world, but I do like the gobius bait. Something that I think you should probably check out. So I'm going to go my high-end gift, and this is for your extreme angler, something that somebody is fishing from, you know, February until December in our area. And this is something that I've been fishing for a really long time. And again, I will tell you that this is a really high-end deal, but a Stormer Striker suit. This is, you can check them out at stormerusa.com. That's STORMRUSA.com. And again, I might be a little biased. I've been affiliated with Stormer gear for a long time, but I one thing that I will tell you is I pride myself on promoting products that I feel like that I get the most use out of. You guys can watch pretty much any video that I've posted in the last week or week and a half. I'm wearing these exact bibs in this and the jacket. Again, fairly expensive. You're looking at $353 for, you're looking probably tax and all, you're looking about $370 there for the bibs, as well as the jacket, striker jacket. You're looking at, I would imagine you're looking at probably $850 shipped to your house. But this suit is made out of neoprene, and it is absolutely the warmest gear I've ever found. It's really comfortable. One thing that I will tell you is you have to learn how to dress underneath this thing. If you go out there like gung-ho thinking, you know what, I'm going to wear like 17 layers and wearing thermals and I'm going to put all this stuff on here, I promise you will regret that, because you will be sweating like, you know, I don't know what else, but I'm telling you, you're gonna regret wearing a bunch of clothes. I always wear like a t-shirt and a hoodie underneath here, and I'm plenty warm, even down into the teens and you know, way down way below that. So again, if you're looking for something that will keep you warm or keep your angler warm, and you're looking to spend a ton of money, and again, I would definitely check out the striker suit. But if I was going to choose one or the other to buy, and if you didn't want to buy them both at the same time, stick with the bibs initially. You can always grab a jacket or something to put on it. One of the cool things that come about with this this style of bib and style of neoprene suits is that these things are positive buoyant. And what I mean by that is they're not in any way to be replaced or to replace your personal flotation device. But this neoprene rubber actually causes you to float higher in the water should you fall in the water. One of the biggest things when people are wearing rain suits and rain gear fishing is the risk of falling in the water. I am the world's worst about not wearing a PFD or a personal flotation device when I'm fishing. I feel like I'm a good enough swimmer to get back in the boat. But if you fall in the water or you hit your head or something and you're not conscious, these things here will keep you floating higher in the water column, and they potentially could save your life. and I'm not saying that these things are going to replace your PFD. So please do not think that I'm telling you that you can not wear your PFD and have these things on. What I'm saying is that should you, God forbid, fall in the water in frigid temperatures, these things are going to, one, they're not going to soak up a bunch of water and act like a parachute to keep you under the water if you fall in. But two, these are positive buoyant, which means they're going to float you, you know, more than sink you. So check out the Stormer bibs, check out the Striker gear. Again, fairly expensive. You're looking at $800. When you think about something like a sim suit, Kyle just bought one. It was almost $1,300. So if it keeps you warm and dry, I think it's worth every penny. So check out the Stormer.
And I've got a wetsuit from scuba diving, so I might just get that and just wear it next time it's really cold. And I think it'll be, close to equivalent. If I get too cold, I can just pee in it and it'll keep it in there and, keep me nice and warm.
Yeah, so I bought Misty one, I think, for last year for Christmas. So she didn't get the Striker. They have a women's jacket, and it's called matter of fact, they don't even have it on here anymore. I think she might have. Oh, wait a minute, I was looking in the men's. It's called the Typhoon. It's a lot softer of a neoprene material. You guys are not seeing it, I'm sure of it, because I'm not sharing my screen anymore. But it's purple. It actually looks pretty cool and works really well. I agree. I think you should have taught your son a little better manners than that than peeing in wetsuit. Anyway, so JR, let's hear your high end deal and we'll hop off here.
Oh man, I mean, going back to the NRX Plus, you just can't go wrong with it. It is such a nice rod, and if you are wanting bottom contact, I mean, there's still a few there at the tackle box. You can get that rod for $450 instead of paying $650. I know it's a steep price, but it's still a really good thing. Another high end that I've definitely experienced recently that I'd never done before is a Metanium. As far as a flipping reel, I don't know if you guys have experienced this in the past, but I get really irritated when I get any backlash when I'm just flipping. That reel, the reel seat is stacked so narrow that it just avoids so much of that backlash and just little small backlashes that you may get with other reels. Combining the NRX Plus and a Metanium is like having a Lamborghini to fish with, and I'm just thankful I've got one now.
Yeah, man, it's weird. And by the way, guys, if your guys' cell phone you're either watching this on your cell phone or your cell phone is closed, just be ready for this crap. We talked about the AFCO Reaper, and look what's on my Facebook feeds right here. Big Brother is always
watching you.
Yeah, Big Brother is always listening.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, guys, I will have a video coming out. We'll bring JR in for that video. We're gonna break down gift guide for 2023 for fishermen, and this is for you ladies. This is not for fishermen. Obviously, we know what we want, but it gives you the opportunity. We'll break it down from $5 to $500+, depending on give you an option to buy stuff that somebody's going to use. And not just be stuck in a closet somewhere that they're using other products. So that's the worst thing, is money spent that never gets used and out on the water. And I have been that guy. I've bought stuff. I will tell you that I fished quantum stuff for a long time. I saw the error in my ways. I didn't fish it for a long time. I fished it for a year or so and then went back to Shimano. But anyway. Yeah, Mark. So I'm telling you, we were talking about it earlier. I'm going to buy some more of them. I do believe that they are worth every penny. Again, they're $80.
Yeah.
Everything we've talked about today, so everything we've talked about today has been fairly expensive stuff. Don't think that we're a bunch of we're bass and bougie. See what I did there? it is that. So a couple things. If you guys missed it, you guys can go back and take a look at it. There's some fairly cheap stuff on there talking about pliers and baits and things. Not a ton. There's like 6 or 8 different gift ideas there. There will be a video coming out soon talking about gift ideas for baits and things, and we'll knock it down from prices going on all the way up. If you guys missed missed the opportunity to watch my video today talking about my 4 crankbait rods that I have in my boat, it's definitely out on YouTube, and I appreciate if you would take a look at it. If not, if you haven't already went over there and subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'd appreciate it. I'm looking for that 5,000 subscriber mark, hopefully to hit that thing before the first of the year, which is going to be a stretch. YouTube is a weird place. It's like used to be that it was like you would gain followers all the time. Now I think they have the analytics or the algorithm so locked down that like if you're not consistently posting with shorts and all that stuff, you're just being left behind. So my goal is to kind of bombard you guys out there with content that you may enjoy. And that's going to be talking about from the very basics to some really advanced techniques that I'm learning myself. So hopefully in the next few months here, you'll see live scope being added to my boat and a few other things. So if JR doesn't have anything, we're going to call it a day for this evening for the On Another Line live crew. So you got anything for them there?
No, get out there and get fishing. I hear there's some striper running, and I hear there's some other things running on the river right now. So we might have to.
Yep. My goal is to go down to the river and catch some sauger this weekend. Apparently they're stacked. Mm-hmm. Mark, that is an excellent deal, man. I would have bought 2 or 3 of them at that price. They're $79 normally. And if you buy them like through, I think they were $89 through Picasso because they were Picasso branded. Hey Tony, I appreciate it, man. So that was this. It was fun. I enjoyed it too. You guys, if you guys haven't seen that one, it's a pretty good video. We'll go over and shoot some video there at Borders, who is again. So first and foremost, before you get off here, if you guys haven't made it up to the tackle box and you're local and you want to go get some stuff up there, the tackle box, it hurts my heart to say, is down to over half of their stock being gone, and it is. It kind of is what it is, man. Greg is wanting to retire, which I don't blame him a bit. The shop is still for sale. If you guys looking for something to get into a second career, or you want to buy an investment building or investment business, that's it. But get up there and pick that stuff up. 25% off on everything. He had it's 30% right now, right? That's 30% off. And he had the baits. And I don't know if his Black Friday stuff's still going on or not. You may check on the website, but he had all the hard baits all the baits in his shop over the weekend for 40% off. So it's pretty crazy. I went up there and bought a lot of stuff. So with that being said, with the tackle box shutting down, you're going to see us shooting a lot more videos and stuff with them Border Sporting Goods over there. And keep in mind, kind of look for new upcoming sales and stuff. We'll be sharing a lot of stuff with you there as well. Freedom Outdoors have got a lot of stuff going on right now with boats. I shared it today. They have 4 Tritons up there that are brand new that they're selling for like $65,999, and that is still of a deal. I've never ran a Triton, but they were designed at one point by the legendary Earl Bentz, who is now designing Camus boats. So with that being said, guys, this was Jared talked about it there a second ago. If you guys can get out there and lean on them, maybe we'll see you on the water between now and then. In January, we'll be having a walk-around video on a new boat that JR's getting, and I'm not going to ruin the surprise. We'll show you guys when it comes in. So I think I'm more excited about it than he is. I don't know that that's possible, but you guys know what's going on. So we'll see you next time. If you can, get out there and lean on them. We'll see you next time on Another Line. See y'all.